The classroom was silent except for the soft scratch of pencils and the whisper of pages turning. But as Mrs. Linda Matthews moved between the desks, her gaze kept drifting to the boy in the third row. His name was Jaden. He always sat quietly, head down, sleeves tugged over his wrists. Today, what caught her attention wasn't his silence, it was his shoes. Or rather, the lack of them. He wore shoes so torn, his toes were poking through the fabric. The soles flapped as he walked. It was the dead of winter in Chicago, and Linda's heart ached as she watched him try to curl his feet under his chair, trying to hide them. She bent down and asked softly, "Jaden, where's your winter coat?" He looked away. "I lost it." But Linda knew better. Jaden never had a proper coat, and his shoes were held together by hope and threads. That night, she couldn't sleep. She kept thinking of her own two boys, tucked into bed with full stomachs and warm blankets. Jaden had none of that. The next morning, Linda stopped by the store on her way to school. She bought a pair of brand new sneakers and a thick winter coat. It wasn't much, but it was warmth. Dignity. A chance to walk into class without shame. At lunchtime, she called Jaden aside. "I got these for you," she said gently. "No one needs to know. You can keep them in your locker." At first, he didn't speak. His eyes filled with tears, and for the first time since she'd known him, Jaden smiled. But the smile didn't last. 2 days later, Linda was called into the principal's office. Mr. Harmon, stiff in his tie and always more concerned with rules than compassion, looked at her like she'd committed a crime. "We have a problem," he began. "You gave a student personal gifts." "I gave a child shoes," she replied, confused. He shook his head. "We have policies. You bypassed administration. We can't have teachers making independent decisions like that. It sets a precedent." "I didn't buy him a car," she said, frustration rising. "I bought him shoes because his feet were freezing." "It doesn't matter. You're being suspended pending further review. And likely termination." Linda was speechless. Fired? For helping a child? She left the office feeling like the world had gone upside down. Word spread through the school like wildfire. Some whispered support. Others avoided her. And worst of all, Jaden looked at her with guilt, like he was the reason she'd been punished. She spent 2 weeks at home, crushed. She loved teaching. It wasn't just a job, it was who she was. Every day out of the classroom felt like a piece of her identity was being stripped away. But even in her sadness, she never regretted buying those shoes. Then, one morning, her phone rang. Unknown number. She answered hesitantly. "Is this Mrs. Matthews?" a deep voice asked. "Yes. This is Richard Vance. You might have heard of me." Linda blinked. Richard Vance. The billionaire tech mogul, philanthropist, founder of the Vance Foundation. One of the richest and most influential people in the world. "I heard what happened," he said. "A friend sent me the article. I just want you to know, I think what you did was heroic." Linda couldn't speak. Her heart raced. "I run a program for underprivileged kids," he continued. "We could use a woman like you. Someone who doesn't just teach, but cares. I want to offer you a position. Full salary. Benefits. You'd be working with children across the country, helping schools that need the kind of heart you have." Tears welled up in Linda's eyes. After being cast aside by the very system she gave everything to, here was someone who saw her worth. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, I'd love that." The next day, the story exploded online. Fired for compassion, teacher gets job offer from billionaire after buying shoes for poor student. Suddenly, the same principal who fired her was backpedaling, saying it was a misunderstanding. But it was too late. Parents rallied in her defense. Jaden's mother, who worked 2 jobs and had never asked for help, broke down in an interview, calling Linda an angel in the classroom. As for Jaden, he wrote Linda a letter. "Dear Mrs. Matthews, thank you for making me feel seen. No one ever did before you. I want to be a teacher like you one day. Because if I can help one kid like you helped me, it'll all be worth it. Linda keeps that letter in her wallet to this day. The message? Sometimes, following your heart means breaking the rules. And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness, a pair of shoes, can change not just one life, but many. Because compassion should never be punished, it should be celebrated.